There you go. All right. So good morning, everybody. Um, my thought for you, I've been playing a lot this week with that very theme of what happens when you don't have power, right? Because that's been the experience for many of us, if not all of us, with the storm is being without power, being without internet, and suddenly, wondering what is life all about, right? How can it be possible to make a quarantine situation or a semi-quarantine situation more challenging? And that's it, just remove the electricity, right? And where I've come to with it is that it's really a teaching on contentment. It's really a teaching on Santosha, right? That we have the opportunity that as things continue to change, right? Circumstances continue to change as they do, regardless of how much we think we're doing the right thing or the wrong thing, circumstances change. That's the nature of the world. But we have the ability to stay in a place where instead of being in the up and down all the time of this is what's happening now and it's making me happy, or this is what's happening now and it's making me sad, instead of looking for those reasons for my mind should be in this state or that state, we can be somewhere in the middle. And that middle place is what we call contentment. That's what we call Santosha. And if it's something you haven't been practicing for the last 6 months, I would certainly recommend that you put it in your mind, at some point, because it's really the way that we are able to go through life in a much more level way. We're able to go through life in a way where we're not always hanging on to the excuses or the reasons that we have to continue to be unhappy about something that may have happened yesterday or a minute ago, or that maybe still is happening, but it's not a good reason to continue to be unhappy, right? That's what this teaching is that Santosha is that place of there is the situation as it is, and it's not a good reason for you to stay in a state of negativity, for you to stay in a state of unhappiness, for you to stay in a state even of euphoria that's going to end, right? Don't do that to yourself. That's the teaching, right? So can you stay in a place where whatever is happening, whether it is something that excites you or something that does not excite you, can you be in a state where you are holding space and you're not reaching for, I should be happy, I should be unhappy. Here's the reasons to be happy, here's the reasons to be unhappy. Because when we do that, and this is what we're told all the time, is that what we're really doing is we're cultivating, right? We're not achieving these states by our efforts, but we're cultivating the possibility that these feelings can arise, right? So by holding that space where we're not reaching for anything definitive, we're not reaching for good and bad, we're not reaching for happy and unhappy, we can cultivate, right? We can allow for there to be the rising up of that feeling of, I'm okay. I might not be pleased, but I'm okay. And we can cultivate that space where things can come up like compassion that says, wow, this is what I'm experiencing. And so are hundreds, millions, thousands of millions of other people right now. And my heart goes to them because we're in shared understanding, right? That can rise up into that space. Same thing with every other achievement in a spiritual practice, is it can rise up if there's nothing in its way, right? So what we do every day, all that we do every day when we practice, is we're cultivating that space, right? So even talking about contentment, you can't make yourself get there. Can't do it. But you can cultivate the space where you're just allowing the mind to not reach for, here's my reasons why I should be happy. Here's my reasons why I should be unhappy, right? You can be in the space that's in between and just hold it. Whatever comes, comes. Whatever goes, goes. And in the middle of that, there's you, and you're okay, right? A comfortable seat if you're not there already. Let the eyes close. And come into your breath like it's the easiest thing in the world, because it is. The very first thing you learned to do, even before you were born, is to breathe. When the breath becomes easeful, the mind follows it. So can you start to feel how your breath is moving? Fast, slow, smooth, jerky. And then can you start to relax so that the breath breathes itself? Instead of thinking, oh, it's acting like this, I better do this to try and change it. Can you relax into your breath? Every exhale, can you drop your shoulders? What are you trying to hold up? Every inhale, can you relax your belly so that it can expand? Who cares if it expands all the way across the room? Expand. You relax into a state where you are receptive to the breath coming in the inhale and the breath leaving on the exhale. And I think I've been thinking that if this is the only pranayama practice you ever do, is can I relax into my breath so it breathes itself? It's probably the best practice you'll ever do. Your mind will follow the breath. And I can tell how much you're all relaxing because I can see how you're fidgeting. Don't turn your cameras off. Just relax. One more deep breath as you breathe in. Expand, expand, expand. Maybe feel that pause at the top. Don't hold it, but just feel it. And then exhale all the way out, dropping the shoulders, dropping the feeling of having to hold things up. And then bring the hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm, the place that is the middle. Between the up and the down, the right and the left, there is the heart that experiences all of it. And if the heart is open, you receive everything from every direction and nothing that isn't useful stays. Everything moves. So open with the sound of Om, deep breath in. And let the eyes float open. Nice deep eyes. Stretch your arms up alongside your ears, please. So stay seated. Bring the arms up. Interlace your fingers, press heels of the hands up to the sky. So push out through the heels of the hands. Good. So that's a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, bend your elbows out wide. Push the crown of your head up into your hands. Good. Bring those shoulders wide. Good. And then inhaling, pushing the hands out and away, reaching through your armpits, get taller. And then as you exhale, bring the elbows out and down like you're still holding up a weight. Push up the crown of your head. Good. And then extend those arms all the way up again. Pull from your armpits, get longer. And then exhale, elbows go wide, crown of the head lifts up like you're doing sort of air push-ups. Good. And one more time, extend those arms all the way up. Stay there. And then side body stretch to your right. Good. Keep pushing out through the arms. Keep pushing out through your ribs. Nice. And then let that right hand touch down to the floor, please. Left arm stays over the ear. Extend, extend, extend. Walk your right hand out further away from your hip. Further away from your hip. Further away from your hip. Some of you can come down to your forearm here. Good. But I want you to walk out far enough where that's possible, unless, of course, you're stuck in a wall like Pam. Good. One more breath. Let yourself drop into that side body. Drop your left butt cheek down to the floor. Good. And then walk yourself all the way back up to center, please. Inhale, both arms up to the sky. Interlace the fingers. Press heels of the hands up. So push out and really extend. Really rotate those pinky fingers towards the ceiling so you're getting the full stretch on your wrist. And then lean to your left, side body stretch. Good. From your ribs, move everything to the left. Nice. So not a bigger C shape, but actually move your ribs sideways. Good. And then let that left hand touch down to the floor. Keep the right arm extended. Walk that left arm out beyond your hip, further out, further out, further out, further out. Good. If you can come down to your forearm, come down to that elbow. If not, stay where you are and just keep reaching. Good. But the further away you reach, the more there is space for you to just drop into it, right? And that's the point of this conversation about cultivating, is that the more space that you make, the more room there is for things to arise organically. You don't have to fight for it. Good. Bring yourself all the way back up to center, please. Nice job. Release the hands down to the floor. Roll forward to hands and knees. Now your side body is awake. And come into some cat-cow. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Start to breathe, inhaling, drawing the spine long, heart up, tail up. Exhaling, curling and rounding. Get into the back of your heart on the exhale. Good. Let your head be part of your spine, but not what's leading your spine. So from the middle of your back, I want you to feel the rising into cat and the rising into cow. Good. So if you were already just in your habitual cat-cow and you have no idea what I'm talking about when I said that, then pause for a second and just find yourself in that neutral spine, and then find yourself pulling from your armpits and the tops of your thighs, pull long. And with that, you can let the tail tilt up and the heart tilt forward and the belly drops. Good. And then from that same part of your middle spine, round up. So pull from the middle of your back ribs up towards the sky and feel as though the front of the collarbones and the front of the pelvis are just hanging from that point. Good. Again, I'm talking and you're moving, but maybe that adds a little something to the way that you are doing your cat-cow. Good. In the middle of your spine, extend. In the middle of your spine, pull up. You're not rocking back and forth from hands to knees. Good. Nice, you guys. Next time you come into that cat position, the rounded position, stay there. So a nice rounded back. And then pull the armpits forward again. Yep. And then pull the tops of your thighs back without letting your shoulders move from where you just put them. Yeah, so try to lift that low part of your belly a little higher. Keep pulling those armpits forward. Nice. Now press up just a little bit through the back of your throat. So your chin is still in towards your chest, but push up through the back of your throat. Good. Now maintain all of that. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, come into downward facing dog, still with that roundedness of your ribs. Good. With the roundedness of your pelvis, keep pulling up. And then the tops of the thighs go back. Lift that tail up and back. Good. And then the last thing is, again, pull that throat just a little higher to lift your collarbones, but you don't ever drop the ribs. Good. So lift the back of your throat. Do not push your ribs to the floor. Nice. I want that long extension, full body. Good. Right leg comes up and back, down dog split. Beautiful. Step that foot forward between the hands. Lunge. Good. And then inhale the arms up to the sky. High lunge. Beautiful. Take your arms out wide, cactus arms. So your elbows are wide, but don't let the elbows fall lower than your armpits. So keep the tops of your shoulders nice and level. So the arms lift up just a little higher. Inner elbows cup forward just a little bit. Good. And then twist to your right, please, towards that front leg. Yeah, and as you twist, push your left hip wider to the left so that right hip doesn't hike up. Nice, you guys. And then left hand to the outside of the right knee, please. Right hand reaches back behind you. So extend back. So you're not leaning forward. You're actually pulling through that right arm that's reaching behind you. So reach back like there's someone's hand behind you that you're going to reach. Pull your ribs back. Good. I know. Push your thighs wide. You got it. And then either stay here or drop that right hand down the back thigh and take your left arm up alongside your ear. So you're coming into more of a back bend, reaching through that left side body. Good. Keep those inner thighs pushing wide. Squeeze your feet towards each other. Nice. Inhale, both arms up alongside the ears. Untwist. Good. And then exhale, hands down to the floor. Good. Use blocks underneath the hands if you need. Start to keep that back heel lifted, please, but straighten the front thigh. So just straighten the front knee. Keep your back heel as lifted as you need. Good. Try not to move the feet. Just pull in and pull up. Good. So squeeze the feet together. Keep that left hip spinning forward so that your hips are coming in line with each other. And then a deep bow over the right thigh. Good. Nice, you guys. One more breath like that, pulling up through your pelvis. And exhaling, dropping down through the upper body, through the heart. Nice. Bend your right knee again. Come back to lunge. Left hand plants, right arm to the sky. Spinal twist. Good. Scoop that right butt cheek under just a little bit so that you're still lifting that front edge of your belly and you're sending that right knee forward. And then open the chest a little more. Nice. Throat goes back. Good, you guys. Open, open, open. And then release that hand down to the floor, please. Nice job. Drop the back knee. Both hands come inside the front foot. Good. Walk to the upper left-hand corner of your mat. Stay up on your fingertips. I just want you to walk yourself out far enough so that you are hanging out on your fingertips and you're not settling your weight, good, too much onto your arms. I want your legs to still be doing some work. Which I know is what you want every day, is for your legs to be doing some work. They're doing it anyway. They have to work every day. They might as well work in a conscious way. Good. Relax through the back of your heart here, you guys. So part of the benefit of being up on the fingertips is that you can start to feel that gravity of how you can let the heart go. The arms can stay lifted, the armpits can stay lifted, but that back space of the heart can start to soften, can start to drop. Good. And if it doesn't feel like that's easy, that's okay, because that's what cultivation is, right? You want something to grow, and you just demand that it does it. Does that work? I don't think so. Good. Get a little softer at the back of your heart. Get a little softer in your hips. Beautiful. One more breath. Drop deeper. Good. Nice, Harriet. And then walk yourself back in, please. Good. Lift the back knee up. Both hands come back to the inside of the front foot. Walk to your left until you come to the center of your mat. Turn your toes, come to wide legs. Good. Bow deeply. Nice. Thank you, guys. And then bring the hands underneath you if you have come to some other position. Right hand plants, left arm to the sky, spinal twist. Left hand can also come to your lower back if you're really interested in making sure that your sacrum is lifting and that you're not pulling through the front of that left arm. Is take your hand to your lower back, push up through your sacrum, and really work at turning your rib cage instead of using the arm as your gauge for how deeply you're twisting. Use your ribs. Good. One more breath, open. And then release, come back to center. Left hand comes down to the floor. Right arm comes up, spinal twist the other way, or right hand comes to your lower back. Again, the hand at your back means that you have a little bit more room to maneuver through your rib cage or to be aware of what your rib cage is doing. So you know that you're falling back onto that left hand. That's going to help move your shoulder wider so that you can turn your ribs. Good. Nice job. Nice job. And then release that hand down to the floor. Good job. Walk back towards the top of your mat. Turn those right toes forward. Spin the back heel up. Step back, downward facing dog. Good. Slide forward, plank pose, upward push-up. Lower down slow, coming through knees first if you need, all the way down to the belly. Good. Rise up, cobra. Lift head, neck, and chest. Good. Shake your head, yes. And shake your head, no. I like this. I don't like this. Good. And then deep breath in, rise through the length of your spine, push up through the crown of your head, and exhale, release, downward facing dog. Good, you guys. Left leg comes up and back, down dog split. Step that foot forward between the hands, lunge. Good. Inhale, both arms to the sky, high lunge. Nice. And take your arms out wide, cactus arms, palms facing forward, elbows bent. So keep those elbows again in line with your shoulders. Don't let them drop too low. But I want you to almost feel, so turn your palms up for a second. Good. So your elbows are in line with your shoulders, but then push up through your hands just a little bit as though there's something above you that you're just trying to push your hands into. So you're going to actually activate some of that muscular energy of your arms for those of you who are just holding your arms there because I told you to. Lift your chest a little higher. Good. And then twist to your left, please. Keep that muscular energy in the arms. Good. Inner thighs push wide as you twist. So otherwise, you're going to send your center of balance off. Nice. And then go ahead and take that right hand to your outer left knee. Left arm extends back behind you. So don't come down onto the forearm on the front leg, you guys. So stay with the hand on the outside of the knee. And then pull through your left arm, the arm that's reaching back. I want you to move your rib cage back in space so that your shoulders stay really up above your hips and you can turn your belly more. Good. And then either stay here or drop that left arm down your back thigh. Try and find that back leg. And then take the right arm up alongside your ear and reach into that side body. Good. Side body back bend. So you're twisting just a little bit. Nice, Jessica. Nice, Jen. Gen C. I have like 16 gens. Good. Nice, Gen G also. Come back to center. Inhale, both arms to the sky. Good. And then release the hands down to the floor. Good. Blocks underneath the hands if you need. Keep the back leg where it is, just straighten your front knee. So pull that back heel up off of the floor as much as you need to straighten the front thigh. Good. So you're pulling up through your pelvis. You're pulling up through that middle space of your spine. Pull up, pull up, pull up. Good. And then you're relaxing the upper body. That's the part that we tend to forget. I can tell you to activate and engage. And you're like, sure, I'll do that. And I'll tense everywhere. So get engaged where I ask you to, and then relax. Let the heart get softer. Let your shoulders release. Good. What do you think you're trying to prove? One more breath. Nice. Bend that left knee again. Come back to lunge. Good. Right hand plants left arm to the sky, spinal twist. And again here with that front leg, you almost want to feel like you're scooping that left butt cheek under just a little bit. Lift your front pelvic points up off of your thigh and bring that left knee forward and lift your chest open more. So you got to extend forward first. Then you can rotate the ribs. Drop more onto that right hand. Push your right hip wider to the right. So Sandy, move your hips to the right. There you go. Nice. Diane too. You too. Push your hips wide to the right. Everyone else's name that I didn't say, push your hips wide to the right. Good. And then release that hand down to the floor. Nicely done. Both hands come inside the front foot. Drop the back knee. Walk your hands to that upper right-hand corner of your mat. And then again, separate the hands wide enough so that you feel that you've got a stable base up on fingertips. Let yourself breathe long through your armpits. So the point is for your arms to be extended far enough forward that you get almost that down dog stretch through your arms. Because I want the place where your arms meet your shoulders and meet your torso to get space. So walk your hands out far enough that you're like, this isn't really comfortable. And then trust in your legs. Your legs will hold you, maybe not comfortably, but they'll hold you. And breathe long through that side body. Breathe long from your armpit to your hip. Good. And in that space that is the middle, there's not even a name for this pose as far as I can tell. This is just a variation of something. Open your hips, open your armpits. So when you're in a place where there's no name for what you're doing. You're just somewhere in the middle. Where is your mind? Is it reaching for what you like about this or what you don't like about this? Or are you actually just feeling the space between your armpits and your hips? Are you actually just feeling where there's openness in your body and where there's places craving openness in your body? And have you lost track of your breath? The answer was yes to all of those things. Welcome to the world. Good. One more breath, drop the heart a little deeper. Yes. And then walk your hands back in. Good job, you guys. Lift that back knee up. Both hands stay inside the front foot. Walk to your right until you come to the center of your mat. Come back to wide legs. Good. So feet are facing straight ahead, weight moving towards the front of your feet, so towards your toes. But Ken, just make sure your feet are really paralleling the short edge of your mat to turn your toes forward a little more. There you go. That's it. Good. And then walk your belly, you guys, towards your right thigh, like you're going to twist, like you're going to turn your belly onto your thigh. And as you turn, yeah, don't let your weight fall back towards your heels. Ronnie, move your hips forward again. That's it. Yeah, keep your left thigh pulling back and wide so it doesn't go with you. Nice. And then the left hand comes either to the ankle or plants on the floor wherever it reasonably can be. Take that right arm up to the sky or again to your lower back. So a little bit of a deeper twist than what we did before. Good. Draw your throat back. Draw the back of your heart back. Yeah. Nice. Nancy, turn those ribs open more, more, more. Right rib cage up, up, up. That's it. Nice, Allison. And then release that hand down, please. Come back to center. Good. Start to walk towards your left leg. So turning your belly, that's the first step, is can I turn my belly towards that leg? Good. So I'm actually twisting from the lowest part of my torso and I'm pulling my right thigh back and wide. Good. And then the right hand can come to that left ankle if it's available, or it plants on the floor wherever it reasonably can plant. Take the left arm to the sky or hand to your lower back. If the hand is at your lower back, don't keep pulling backwards through the elbow. Get into the top of that arm bone, moving back and wide. Your chest getting more open and pull your throat back. So even though you're twisting towards that left leg, pull everything back towards the right leg. Yeah, that's it. Nice, nice, nice. Good, yeah. Good. And then release back to center, please. Good. Bend your knees just a little bit, please. Yeah, so take yourself out of the tightness of your legs. Good. And then scoop your belly. Send your butt back to the sky. So straighten the legs again, but don't lock your knees. Hold opposite elbows for a moment. Hang. And then let yourself sway from side to side like a pendulum. Good. And the point is not to move yourself super fast. It's not what's going to create anything. But can you notice where you're moving from? Don't let your legs do a lot of wiggling around. Do it from your torso, that you're moving yourself almost into that side stretch again, where my belly comes to my right thigh on that swing, and then my belly comes to my left thigh on the next swing. You're moving the space of your torso against your pelvis. Good. And it's the power of just your internal self. So try not to let your elbows swing around past your shoulders, move from your waist. Good. Nice, Jessica. And then come back to stillness, please. Release the hands to the floor. Walk back towards the top of your mat. Good. Step back, downward facing dog. Good. Slide forward to plank pose. Lower down slow. Come through knees first if you need. Rise up, cobra. Good. With that length of the back of your throat, so push up through the crown of your head. Again, like there's something there. You're going to touch the ceiling with the top of your head. Yeah. And then release, please. Press back to hands and knees. Take a child's pose for a breath. Good. And then come back to downward facing dog. Good. Challenge when we start to turn our practice into things like just being cultivation instead of achievement of whatever it is that we want to be feeling that we think we're not feeling, because there's nothing glamorous about it, right? Right leg comes up and back, down dog split. Nothing glamorous about the cultivation process. We get excited about what's going to come next. Step the right foot forward, please. Inhale the arms up to the sky, high lunge. Good, deep breath in. And then take your torso forward, parallel to the floor. Step up, warrior three. So left thigh comes parallel to the floor. Good, pushing the sacrum up towards the ceiling. So there's never a sense of I'm dropping down just into that right heel, but I'm actually pulling up from the top of my right thigh up into my pelvis. So push up. Nice. And then take your arms out wide, letter T if you can. If you've got the space for it, do it. Good. And then you're going to slowly start to twist, letting that left hand come down towards the floor, right arm towards the sky. Good. At the last second, put your hand down to the floor or a block. Revolved Ardha Chandrasana. Good. Nice, you guys. And then release that right hand down to the floor, please. Standing split, deep breath in. Good. Drop the head, drop the heart. You got it. And then step back, nice long lunge. Yep. Inhale the arms back up to the sky, high lunge. Can you imagine if I just made you do the whole thing over and over and over again? Hands together at heart center, please. Prayer twist, left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Turning again from that low place of your torso. So as you turn, that left hip, that back hip is going to have a tendency to fall. So lift it up and push it wide, which means you almost have to take your right butt cheek down and under. So pull that right hip in, push your left inner thigh wide, and then move your belly a little bit more, move your ribs a little bit more. Open the heart to the sky. Good. And then gaze down towards the floor. If you can maintain this hook, stay with the hook. If not, release the hands down to the floor, but come forward back into standing split. Yep, so lift that left leg up, parallel to the floor. Again, either maintaining the hook of the twist or not. Good, that's not an easy transition. So if you're like, well, that didn't work. Good, nice, Mia. Beautiful, you guys. Release the hands down to the floor, please, everybody. Step the left foot alongside the right, standing forward fold. Nice job. Separate your feet as wide as your mat. Turn your toes out, drop down, squat. Good, drop into your breath. So hands can come to heart center, or if there's somewhere else that you need to place them, want to place them, you can. But drop back into your breath. Good. All this is cultivating. Asana practice is cultivating space and awareness in the body so that what habitually has been weak can get stronger, what has been overworked can get coordinated with what needs to be helping. It's just cultivating. You're not going to create any specific feeling with your practice, but you will make space for everything that you wish you could feel to rise up. Can you remind yourself that even though it's not glamorous, what you're doing is cultivating. You're digging in the dirt every single day, that's it. And maybe doing a lot of praying that the vegetable that you want, the flower that you want, is actually going to grow. And then sometimes you get something else entirely. Contentment is, can you enjoy, can you embrace what actually grows? Not what you wished for. Release the hands down to the floor, please. Take the legs back to straight standing forward fold. So that space in the middle, that is, I'm just going to keep digging in the dirt. I'm just going to keep making room for there to be an experience that is not determined by me deciding what makes me happy and what doesn't make me happy. Good. Hands to the floor, please. Step your right leg back behind you, lunge. Should be your second side. Inhale the arms up to the sky. High lunge. Good. And then take your torso forward, please, parallel to the floor. Don't drop your ribs, though. You got to keep that sense of lift. Step up to warrior three. So move your weight forward. Right leg comes up parallel to the floor. Good. So find that balance first. And then take your arms out wide. So Anju, you're doing great. Just turn your right toes down towards the floor a little more. I know, and that ruined it, right? Good. Arms wide, letter T. Nice. You're going to start to turn your belly. So your right hand is going to come down towards the floor. Your left arm is going to start to turn up. Try to do the twist before you take the hand to the floor. There you go. And then the last minute, that right hand touches down, left arm to the sky. It's a little trick for you to find out if your legs are really coordinated into your pelvis and into your belly. Revolved Ardha Chandrasana. Good. Release that left hand down to the floor, please. Standing split. I know. Drop your head, drop your heart. Good. Nice, you guys. And then step back to a nice long lunge. Inhale the arms back up to the sky, high lunge. Hands together at heart center. Prayer twist. Right elbow comes to the outside of your left knee. And again, that back hip is going to have a tendency to turn in and fall. So pull it up and push it wide. Right inner thigh pulls wide, right hip lifts and widens. And then your left inner thigh widens too. Good. Nice, you guys. And then you can pull from that low space of your belly, open. And then take your gaze down towards the floor so you're looking where you're going. Good. If you can maintain the hook of the hands, keep it there. If not, unwind the arms, come into standing splits. You got to bring the weight of your shoulders forward. You have to use that internal place of your belly and your pelvis. Good. Really nice, Heidi. Good, you guys. Good, Mark. Good, Mark. Keep at it, Marlene. You got it. You're right there. Awesome. Release the hands down to the floor. Good. And then step all the way, right foot alongside left, standing forward fold. Beautiful. Fold opposite elbows, bend your knees just a little bit. Again, hang, sway from side to side. Good. And then release the hands down to the floor, please. Separate the feet nice and wide. Good. Toes face straight ahead, so don't turn them wide this time. Just toes face straight ahead. Bend your knees, drop your thighs parallel to the floor, please. Good. And then start to walk your hands back behind your feet, so between the legs. So you're walking the hands back, but you're dropping your hips. Good. So maybe some of you can bring your hands to the back of your heels, so the thumb and first finger cup the back of your heels, so no hands on the floor at all. Good. And for some of you that can come back far enough, so Ken, just take your arms to the inside of your knees. Yeah, that's it. Good. For some of you who can bring your hands back far enough, if you want to go for the arm balance here, the palms can come flat behind your heels. The backs of your thighs are going to rest on your upper arms. Wiggle your feet forward towards each other. Don't let your butt drop too low or this becomes impossible. You got to keep your butt level with the floor. So scoop that belly. Wiggle your feet towards each other. Squeeze the upper arms. Squeeze your legs around your arms. See if you can hook your feet together. Good. Nice, Jessica. Good, you guys. Yeah, so you're like a little bug. Nice, Jeff. Really good. Good, good, good. And then slowly unwind yourself. Good. Feet back to the floor. Unwind the arms, please. Come back to standing forward fold. Yeah, and if you made a beautiful attempt at that arm balance and it ended with you falling on your butt, that's what it means to cultivate a practice. It means that you fall 1,000 times and it's never a reason why you feel diminished. It's never a reason to be unhappy. And even every time you think you succeed, it's not a reason to hang on to that feeling of happiness as something that can't ever change. This is contentment. Everything will come and everything will go. Don't let it run you ragged. Good. Step your feet back to downward facing dog, please. Nice. Slide forward to plank. Lower down slow. Can make the knees first if you need. Good. Rise up, cobra. Lift head, neck, and chest. Good. And then exhale, release, please. Press back up to hands and knees. Come back to child's pose for a breath. Good. And then come on back up to a kneeling position. So I want you to come into Virasana. So sitting between your heels. So if you need a block or a blanket or something between your feet, do that. Make sure that you have that. And then before you settle yourself, we're actually coming into half Virasana. So set your block up that you would normally have. And then come up high come up into a high kneeling position. So don't sit back, sit up. Good. And then step your right foot in front of you. Yep. So the left leg is still going to be folded under you in Virasana. The right leg is in front of you. Start to take your pelvis back. So sit back into Virasana, straighten the right leg. Yep. So again, whatever kind of props we need under you in order to make that happen, you can have them. Good. But the left leg is folded under like Virasana. The right leg is extended forward. Good. And if that position really doesn't work for the knees, it just does not work at all, then go ahead and sit on your butt with the right leg extended. Bring the left foot to the inside of the right thigh and the knee wide. So you're coming into Janu Shirshasana. Good, you guys. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Yeah, so Nancy, I just want you to be able to sit back far enough so that you're really with both sit bones on a block or on the floor. Yeah, so it's not half split, you guys. It's your butt's on the floor. There you go. You got it. Good. A little bit of a twist, please, and then bow over that right thigh. Good. So again, Debbie, if having being in this position doesn't quite work for the knees, sit on your butt, extend the right leg, and take the left foot to the inside of the right thigh, and you can get the same hamstring stretch. There you go. Yeah. Good. Active foot, you guys. And try to find where even here you are trying to still drop through that left thigh crease, that leg that's folded under. You want that sit bone to still trying to be finding the floor. Good. Nice, you guys. One more breath. And then walk yourself back up. Beautiful. So pull that heel in, bend the knee, and then press up out of that position. So come back to level. Come on up. You're going to switch sides. So you're going to fold the right leg under this time. Take the left leg forward. And then again, sit back. So your sit bone should still be to the inside. So that right leg that's folded under, your sit bone should still be to the inside of that heel. So you're sitting just inside the heel, not on the heel. And the left leg is out. Good. Make sure that that right knee is not flying open, so it's not wider than your hip. It should be facing straight forward in line with your hip. Good. Nice, you guys. And then flex that left foot, arms to the sky. Little twist towards that left thigh, and then bow forward. Remembering that you're still trying to allow that right sit bone, the leg that's folded under, to stay anchored to the floor. Good. Nice, you guys. I don't know that anyone would say that half virasana is one of their favorite positions. Maybe there are people out there, but I don't know many that would say this is one of their favorites. The point of a yoga practice is knowing how you respond when the world is happening in a way that is not your favorite. Right? How do you respond when circumstances are what they are and it means that I don't have power? I don't have the ability to do this. I don't have the ability to do that. That's been taken away. This is no longer the way that it used to be. How do you respond? You hang on to every single moment, every single list that says this is my reason to be unhappy. Like, you accept what is there and find where there's space to be. Contentment. Everything comes and everything goes, and I am never diminished. Walk yourself back up. Pull that left heel back in, please. Good. Bring yourself back up out of the pose. So lift your hips. Good. Then you're coming out of virasana. So if you need to do a little, let's do this. Come forward to hands and knees. Just do a little hip circling. So you can wiggle out anything that needs to wiggle. Good. And then maybe circle your hips the other way. Nice sequence. Good. And then come on back to stillness, please. Good. And then come to sit. So come to sit on your butt. Take your legs out in front of you. I remembered this time that there's a second screen. So some of you that I didn't even realize were here, I'm like, oh, there's people here I didn't see before. Good. Stretch the legs out in front of you, please. Good. Bring your right knee in towards your chest. Left leg stays extended. Yep. And then reach for the outer edge of your foot. So your left hand's going to reach for the baby toe edge of your foot. So lift that foot up off the floor. Left hand reaches for right baby toe. Yep. So the knee that you just bent, lift it up off the floor. Exactly. And then you're extending that right leg forward, coming into a twist, turning your belly towards that leg. Right arm comes back behind you. Yeah. So you guys, your right knee bent in towards your chest. That's the foot that you're lifting. Your left leg stays out on the floor. No, Jen. Put that left leg back down. Jen G, put that left leg back down. Yep. Now lift your right foot off the floor. Yep. Now use your other hand. Left hand. Now turn to the right. Right arm comes back behind you. Hallelujah. Good, you guys. Roll forward towards the front edge of your sit bones for everybody who's been holding that whole time. Good job. Move your right inner thigh wider to the right. Yes. Good. And then bring yourself back forward. Reach this time both hands for the foot. So don't put the leg down. Just reach right hand for the foot, left hand for the foot. And then sit super, super tall. So roll forward towards that front edge of your sit bones. Really lift your belly up towards your thigh. Good, Anastasia. Nice, Laura. Nice, Alana. Yeah. And then maybe bow your forehead towards that chin. Go for it. Yes. Good, Mark. Nice, Marjorie. And then release, please, hugging that knee back in towards your chest. Good. Cross it over your left thigh. So cross the foot over. Left arm wraps around your knee. Right hand comes back behind you. Yep. Turning your belly to the right. You got it. Pull that thigh in. Lift your belly up towards the leg. Good. And then come back to center. Nice job. Unwind that leg. Take the right leg down to the floor. Whole thing on the other side. Bend your left knee. Lift that foot up off the floor. Right hand reaches for the baby toe. You're crossing your body. Turn your belly to the left. Good. Left arm comes back behind you. Good. Just straighten that leg out straight in front of you, Nancy. Yep. There you go. Roll forward towards the front edge of your pelvis. Good. Good job, Debbie. Nice. Left arm is back behind you off the floor if you can, so that you have that full sense of I'm balancing from the way I've set my pelvis and the way I'm lifting through my ribs. Good. Push your left inner thigh wider to the left. Good, Diane. Nice job. Yeah. Good. And then without putting the leg down, please bring your left hand forward. So both hands reach for the foot. You can change your hold with that right hand. And then a deep lift through your spine. Good. If holding the foot doesn't work, you can hold behind the calf or the knee or wherever you need to hold. Just hold somewhere and then keep lifting your chest up. Good. And it's tilting forward towards the front edge of your pelvis. Guys, and then go ahead and bow the forehead towards that shin and your mouth. Good job. Nice, Lisa. And then hug that knee back in towards your chest, please. Squeeze it in. Good. Cross it over your right thigh. Good. Right arm wraps around. Left hand comes behind you. Twist to your left. Good. Keep your belly lifting. Good. And then bring yourself back to center, please. Good. Unwind your legs. Bring the bottoms of the feet together. Let your knees drop wide. Baddha Konasana. Good. Then arms to the sky, please. So your feet are active. You're curling your toes back, pushing the baby toes down into the floor. Tops of your thighs push down, which might mean that it feels like your knees are squeezing up just a little bit. I don't mind. Good. Keep that extension through your side ribs. Start to bow forward. Yeah, no hands on the floor. No hands on the floor. Keep your arms in line with your ears. Extend, 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 extend. Push your butt back. Pull your armpits forward. Good. It's the same extension that you did in every other pose. Push your butt back. Extend your armpits forward. Yeah, and when you've gone as far as you can possibly go, which is not as far as you've gone yet, so go further. There you go. Then let your hands drop down to the floor. Now go ahead, let your back round. But don't diminish yourself, right? You find the full extension of this is where I can go. This is how much space I can feel. And then I relax and there's more space. Because the effort, the pushing, is not going to get you to the goal, right? It's going to help you find what's in the way of the goal being present. The entire yoga practice is understanding the particular way that you have put things in the way of however it is that you wish to feel. And maybe even realizing that the way that you wish to feel is not the best that you can feel. Your mind's idea of what happiness is or what success is or what achievement is incomplete, guaranteed. So you cultivate, how do I not look for happiness or unhappiness? And in that non-glamorous way, contentment starts to happen when we're not looking for anything. And maybe a bunch of other things start to happen too. But no matter what, you are not diminished. Walk yourself back up, please. Good. So being aware of your furniture and people around you. I want you to stay with the knees wide, but I want you to come up onto where you're balancing on your sit bones, come up onto your tippy toes. So pull your knees up towards your side ribs. You're balancing on your sit bones. You're coming into a little like boat pose, but with your legs out in a straddle. Yeah, so maneuver where you need to. So you're balancing on your sit bones, hold your ankles or your feet, arms inside the knees is what's easiest. Good, and then start to lift the legs out and wide into a straddle, balancing on your sit bones. You got it. Nice, Debbie, you can do both legs, you got room. Yeah, good, good, good. Even if the knees are bent, that's okay, but find the balance where your legs are out wide. Good, and then pull that belly up, 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 up. Nice, and squeeze the feet towards each other just a little bit. If you just let them go wide, it might feel like they're pulling you off balance. I know, deep breath in. And then for those of you who feel like this is fun, keep your legs where they are, stretch your arms straight up to the sky, no hands. Good, even if you don't think it's fun, go for it. Nice, if you're balanced on the edge of a cliff, maybe keep holding your feet. Awesome. And then bring the feet back together, please. Drop back down to Baddha Konasana. Awesome. One more forward fold. Drop your forehead forward. We're cultivating. Cultivating the space for everything that is inherent in you to rise up. And that includes all of those things that seem to be the goals of a yoga practice, or that can be the goals of a yoga practice. It's contentment, it's compassion, it's even, I was talking on Wednesday about the Kundalini energy, is that all of that that's in you rises when there's nothing in the way. Walk yourself back up, please. Nice, you guys. Scoot forward, come onto your backs. How do you respond when circumstances continue to happen in a way that does not fit your definition of what makes you happy? Good. Right ankle comes on top of left thigh, please. Lift your left shin parallel to the floor. Reach through to hold your left thigh. Flex the feet. Pull in. Nice. As you're pulling in through the thigh, scoop your belly, push back out through your tail. So push your low butt, your low back down to the floor. Good. So it's like your thigh creases are getting deeper. You're dropping the thigh bone into the hip socket and folding. Good. And then take another deep breath here. And on your exhale, some of you may want to lift head, neck, and chest. Continue to reach a little further. Try and find your left ankle or your foot. You can either continue to reach through the legs, or some people like to reach around. So if you need to change your hands, don't be afraid to change them. But reach for your foot. Drag your legs in. That's it. Good, you guys. And then slowly release. Unwind. Hug that right knee in towards your chest. Good. Extend that left leg out down to the floor. So right knee in, left leg out down to the floor. Good. And then turn that shin parallel towards your chest. So it's like you're in pigeon, but on your back. So turn the shin. Good. Take your left hand to the baby toe edge of your right foot as that shin turns. Flex the foot. Right hand can come to the outer knee if you'd like. Good. So literally like you're doing pigeon on your back. Good. So the knee is wide and you're lifting the shin up towards your chest. Try and keep that nice long line on your ankles. That means that the baby toe side of your foot, everybody needs to pull back a little more so that outer edge of your ankle is nice and supported. Good. And then let the rotation happen from the top of your thigh. So that right thigh crease opens more. Good. And that's what dictates, right, where the rest of the leg can go. So find that. I'm rotating from the top of my thigh. My knee goes wide. My shin can lift to the point that it can lift. Good. So now that you don't have the excuse, right? Pigeon always feels the way that it feels because you're pushing against the floor and you've got gravity doing what it does. If you don't have that excuse, how do you find pigeon on your own? Where's that feeling of openness in your hip? This cultivation. I'm not even sure what I'm doing, but I hope that if I put this thing in the ground and I, pray hard enough and there's maybe some rain, that something will grow. Yoga practice. I hope that if I continue to breathe and I continue to work with my mind, and I continue to examine where I get in my own way, maybe those feelings of contentment will show up. Maybe that feeling of enlightenment will happen. Good. One more breath. And then hand that right foot off to your right hand, please. So the knee goes wide. Hold that outer edge of the foot with your hand. Good. And then let the leg come out to straight. Yep. Good. And maybe instead of holding the foot, you hold behind the thigh so the leg can drop open even wider. Yep, like you would do with a strap. Can you let that leg open wide? Good. Nice, you guys. And then bend the knee again, please. Bring it all the way back in towards your chest. Squeeze it in. Good. And then step that right foot down to the floor. Bend the left knee, please. Place the left ankle on top of your right thigh. Lift your right shin parallel to the floor. Reach through the hold. Flexing the feet. Good. As you drag the legs in, and I really want you to be pulling the legs in as much as you can. As you drag the legs in, scoop your belly, push back out through your lower spine. Push your butt down to the floor. Good. And then next breath, deep breath in. As you exhale, lift head, neck, and chest. Reach a little deeper, a little longer along your legs. So try and find maybe the front of the shin, the ankle, the foot. Drag yourself in. Again, move your hands if you need. If you can't find a good position, reaching through the legs, reach around. Squeeze in. Means you got to get softer. Good. Slowly release everything. Nice job. Hug that left knee in towards your chest. Extend the right leg down to the floor. So left knee and right leg extends. And then reach for that pigeon position. So turn the shin. Right hand reaches for the baby toe of your left foot. Good. And again, you're rotating from the top of your thigh. So maybe your left hand, your left thumb can even come to the top of that thigh crease. And you can actually feel that by pulling down, you can rotate that left sit bone under a little bit more. You can actually make more space in your pelvis. And then you can move the shin where it wants to go, where it needs to go. Good. But flex that foot strong and make sure that the outer edge of your ankle, the baby toe edge, is pulling back so that there's real strength happening in your shin. Good. Again, you don't have gravity to use as an excuse here. So as deep as you go, this is how deep you go with your own power. And if it feels aggressive, then that's your aggression, right? So pay attention to how you're moving your body. Pay attention to what your breath is doing. Pay attention to what you think is going to happen if you just push harder. You stay in a space where you are cultivating, you're holding. And whatever comes, comes. And whatever doesn't, doesn't. But your sense of yourself is never less. Good. And then hand that left foot off to your left hand, please. Good. Elbow inside the knee is easiest. Start to take that left leg straight out to the left. Take the leg out to straight. And then again, you can find that position for a moment and then maybe let the leg drop even wider out to the left, holding maybe behind the thigh instead of the foot. You can hold the foot, you can keep holding where you are. But let that leg drop out wide to the side, out in line with your hip. Good. Keep turning that inner heel up towards the ceiling just a little bit more. Nice area. Like this. Oh, good, Laura. Nice. And then bring it all the way back up to center, please. Good. Bend the knee in towards your chest, please. Nice. And then place that foot down to the floor. Bend your right knee as well, so plant both feet. Good. Take your arms alongside you into robot arms. So fingers pointing up towards the ceiling. Good. Press down through the arms. Keep your hips on the floor, but start to find the lift of so already if some of you are doing that really fun maneuver where you just wiggle your shoulders all the way under you so that your arch is created by the fact that your shoulders are shoved under you. Move yourself back to where you can feel your whole upper back, please. Good. So your elbows are going to be a little wider than we normally take them. Take them slightly wider. And I want you to feel that pushing down of the whole upper arm, the whole upper shoulder girdle. Good. So you can still feel that there's that sense of squeezing, but it's not squeezing between your shoulder blades. It's squeezing the outer armpits, squeezing the outer edges of the back inward to the back of the heart. So you can stay wide and still hug in. And then start to find the arch of the heart. Keep your hips on the floor, but start to lift through your collarbone, start to lift through your chest, start to lift from your ribs, from your middle back. Find that arch without pinching between the shoulder blades. So I want you to stay wide, but still hug in and lift. Side ribs lift, armpits lift. Good. And then from there, press into your feet, lift your hips up into bridge. Don't do that maneuver where you keep moving your shoulders under you. I know that's a way to get into that feeling of I'm really opening my chest, but I want you to find as much opening in your chest that you can do without cutting yourself off. Good. So this isn't the way that you're always going to do bridge, but you're going to do it this way for now. Keep finding that upper back. Keep finding that squeeze of your armpits, and then hug your inner knees in just a little bit more. Good. Drag your feet back, hips forward towards your heels. Yeah, one more breath. Pull your heart super high. Press out through the back of your throat. Good. And then release the hips down to the floor. Nice. Let your arms go out wide. Separate your feet as wide as your mat. Let your knees windshield wiper right and left. Good. Next time the knees drop to the right, let them stay there. Taking the right ankle on top of the left thigh if you'd like. Again, if the knee does not appreciate having extra weight added, just switch it. So Nancy, just so you're aware, it's the other foot that comes on top. If you're doing, yeah, there you go. If you're doing a different twist on purpose, then no problem. I do find it funny that even simple things, like I say, okay, windshield wiper your legs, and some of you automatically go to, you know, like the fastest setting on your car where they're going like 1,000,000 miles a second, like it's downpouring. And you notice, what is that automatic speed that if there's something to do you try to do it as fast as humanly possible? And what's the benefit to that? Sometimes there is benefit. My curiosity is, do you know? Do you know how fast you push yourself and why? And can you come back to a state, or come to a state if it's not familiar, where all you're doing is cultivating? Unwind the legs, come back to feet on the floor, knees up. Drop the knees to the left. Left ankle on top of right thigh if you'd like. Good, Sarah, I would just pull your knees up a little closer towards your chest if you're going to do that twist. There you go. Just the hilarious thing that we're so engaged. We can be so excited about, you know, we're going to work really hard on ourselves. We're going to work really hard to be as spiritual as possible. We're going to get there. I'm going to work on compassion. I'm going to work on contentment. Damn it, I'm going to succeed. The mind gets tight. Body will follow, the breath will follow and become tight. All you're doing is cultivating, digging in the dirt. What's here that's going to help things grow, and what's here that maybe is not helping, that's standing in the way. Can I move that aside, not get rid of it, but just move it to where it's no longer an obstruction? Unwind, come back to center. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Good. Opportunity for an inversion if you'd like. My suggestion is shoulder stands. If you're not practicing shoulder stand for whatever reason, you can place a block underneath your seat, do a little supported bridge, or legs up to the sky with the block underneath you. If you're feeling moved to do a different inversion and you want to get up and do that other inversion, you're welcome to do that. So headstand, handstand, forearm balance, anything that you like. Good. Nice, even if it's just legs up to the sky. Good, Stacy. Good, you guys. Pull long through your spine. Inverting is cultivating too, even if you're only up there, upside down for a breath, 2 breaths. It builds. Because for most of us, right, we're practicing yoga because the natural or the habitual state of our mind is not one that's calm. It's not one that's in a place of equilibrium. It's not a place where we're content. If you think that just doing the poses or just doing the breath and just being diligent is going to make those things appear, you might be disappointed. Because those things only work if we have an understanding that it is cultivating an awareness of ourselves where we can see what's standing in our way. And where we can see that what's standing in our way is not what's happening outside, what's standing in our way is our own darn self. So can we find the spaces where we're not seeking reasons to be unhappy and happy? Cultivating a sense of openness and awareness so that everything that you could be, can be, already are, rises up and you become conscious of it. A couple more breaths where you are. My personal realization is because that work is not glamorous. There's no name for it except cultivating. What does that mean? Digging in the dirt. That's all. We're much happier saying, I'm practicing contentment, I'm practicing compassion. Practicing a fire drill. Start to slowly roll yourself down out of your inversion. One vertebra at a time. As you come down to rest, doing a little opposite of whatever you just did. So if you were in shoulder stand, resting on your back with your knees bent. If you were in headstand or something else, you can rest in child's pose or just sitting on your heels. Just take a moment. And bring the knees back in towards your chest, please. Bring your forehead up to meet your knees. Roll on your spine just a little bit forward and back, side to side. Good. And again, some of you are like, yes, I will roll on my spine in the most dramatic way I can. And some of you are barely moving at all. And both are exactly perfect. Good. Come to stillness, please. Forehead to your knees, round into yourself. Just hug. Just hug. And then slowly release the upper body first. And then release the lower body, sending the legs out in front of you, arms alongside you. Find your way into Shavasana. Remembering that you are setting yourself up for a state of relaxation. Set yourself up well. Then can you come back to maybe the experience of allowing the breath to breathe itself? You are conscious of the inhales arriving and the exhales moving. It's no longer on your command. You simply become aware that the breath is moving. And gently bring the awareness back to your breath, back to yourself breathing. And begin to let the body stretch and move whatever ways serve it well. And as you're ready, draw the knees in towards your chest, roll to your right side. And take a moment there before you begin to push the floor away. Come back to an upright seated position. Hands resting at the heart center, palm to palm, or whatever mudra serves you well. Contentment is one of those experiences that, like meditation, it's said that you cannot force it. There's nothing that you can do that's going to make your mind go to that place. And the more you try to make it, the more frustrated you're going to become. But it's a state that only can happen when we are very skilled at, or when we become skilled at letting go of what we like and what we don't like, of the reasons we have to be happy or to be unhappy. The state that is really about acceptance. So in the acceptance of what is in front of us that cannot be changed by our will or our effort, and by finding where there is still space to be, still space to move, you yourself are never diminished. In that state, there can be the experience of contentment. You cultivate that space where there is nothing that you're reaching for, then everything that you could be, could feel, could have will rise up. And it may not be what you expected. It may not fit your definition of what you thought contentment was, happiness was, enlightenment was. But it's what's there. So again, all you are doing is cultivating an awareness of what's already there. Not glamorous. But when it becomes real, then it becomes relaxation. When it becomes real, it becomes something that cannot leave you because it's you. It's not determined by anything outside. So this is what we do. We cultivate contentment. We cultivate the attitude and the space where that feeling of okayness can be perpetual. And that's all we do. So every day you get up to practice, remind yourself, you're just digging in the dirt. You're just watering. You're just throwing a lot of stuff around and saying, where is there space and what's still standing in my way? Keep moving the furniture. Everything that you're looking for will rise up. But don't chase it. Close with the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Everything comes and everything goes, and you are never, ever, ever diminished. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. Don't forget this Friday, Kirtan. So there's a couple of spots I think still open if you want to be in the studio for that. Just let Cheryl know and she can tell you if there's space. If not, online. Again, the Kirtan is really fun and it really sounds good online. So if you've got some time, Friday night, I believe it's 6 o'clock,